engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Fernando calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Now Fernando calls to play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter, see in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone Town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Orlando, mate, you had it rough. Car so slow, it was barely enough. Chugging along at the back of the pack. Fans yelling, mate, where's your pace at? Year after year, you'd smile through the pain, dreaming of glory, but stuck in the slow lane. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Now here comes 2025. McLaren's car is straight up alive. Lando's grinning, he's topping the charts, screaming, this beast's got 1,000,000 parts. But wait a sec, who's that in the other seat? Some Aussie kid who's bringing the heat. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Oscar's new, but he's stealing the show. Passing Lando like, mate, let's go. Lando's like, I waited years for this ride. Oscar shrugs, cool story, now step aside. Team radio crackles, Lando behave, but Oscar's too busy catching that wave. Poor Lando thought he'd rule the track, but Oscar's out there, no looking back. Fans love the kid with the cheeky grin. Lando's like, when's my parade gonna begin? Still their mates, they laugh, they jest. McLaren's got two and they're both the best. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. So here's to Lando, still chasing that crown, and Oscar the rookie who's shaking it down. Two fast mates in a papaya dream. McLaren's laughing, what a chaotic team. Oh, Lando, Oscar's got your number made.
Gather round, mates, for a tale that's a laugh about a racer named Jack took an F1 path. Aussie lad with guts, but he spun that ride, crashed his dreams. Now he's off to the side. Jack Gold Coast born with speed in his heart. Dad's a legend, gave him racing from the start. F4, F3, tearing up the scene. F2 king, living out his dream. Alpine shouted, Jack, you're our man. Gave him Ocon's seat, thought he'd lead the plan. But 25 roared like a Roo gone wild. Jack's F1 hopes got wrecked in exile. Suzuka turn 1, pushing 8 and 5. Slammed that wall, car barely survived. Team radio buzz, Jack, you still there? He's stumbling out, dust in his hair. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Miami Grand Prix, thought he'd make a mark. Turn 1, lap 1, sent Liam Lawson to the dark. Penalty stacked, his license near shot. Speeding in the pits, fines hit the lot. Alpine's cash took a hit from his spree. Boss Solly Oak said, Jack, you're killing me. Franco Colapinto with bucks and a smile. Snagged Jack's seat, sent him back in exile. Fans online are cackling, saying Jack's a bust. 6 races, no points, mate, you're eating dust. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Jack swore he'd push like a dingo on fire, but his car's in scraps and his dreams retired. Back to reserve, just a spare in the shed. F1 chewed him up, left his hopes for dead. Jack with a grin and a cheer. Your F1 run was a wild outback steer. Aussie battler, you gave it a crack, but them crashes prove Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. He roared onto the scene, a rookie with a dream. McLaren's golden boy, fastest we'd ever seen. His first season was fire, left the vets in the dust. Won that championship in 08, man, that kid was a must. From Mercedes to the top, he was king of the track. Silver arrows in his hands, ain't no looking back. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. At Mercedes he was gold, stacking titles like a boss. Rosberg gave him headaches,
but he still came across. Then Bottas rolled in, just a sidekick in the race. Lewis mowed him down with that champion's poker face. But then came 21, Abu Dhabi's cruel twist. Mossy's name's in his nightmares, man, he's still so pissed. Lost that 8th world title, it haunts him to this day. Now he's singing sad old blues while Max just drives away. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. He said, Ferrari's my mission, I'll bring them back to glory. But the Tifosi's waiting for a different kind of story. That red car's a clunker, it's sputtering and slow. Fans are whispering washed up, and it's starting to show. He strutted into Maranello, thought he'd rule the grid. But that Ferrari's like a mule, can't do what he did. The anticipation fizzle, now the critics all agree. Lewis, you're a legend, but your prime's history. Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. So here's to you, Sir Lewis, with your titles and your fame. You'll always be a hero, but this ain't your game. Trade that helmet for a Stetson, sing a country tune instead. 'Cause your Ferrari's running on fumes, and your racing days are dead.
Max the Maverick! He rolls to the grid, eyes sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more.
Are born, they tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art, tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar, now it's Max who evens the score. The car's not prime, the rivals grin, but he still finds a way to win. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Monaco Street.
engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Orlando, mate, you had it rough. Car so slow, it was barely enough. Chugging along at the back of the pack, fans yelling, mate, where's your pace at? Year after year, you'd smile through the pain, dreaming of glory, but stuck in the slow lane. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Now here comes 2025. McLaren's car is straight up alive. Lando's grinning, he's topping the charts, screaming, this beast's got 1 million parts. But wait a sec, who's that in the other seat? Some Aussie kid who's bringing the heat. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Oscar's new buddy stealing the show, passing Lando like, mate, let's go. Lando's like, I waited years for this ride. Oscar shrugs, cool story, now step aside. Team radio crackles, Lando behave, but Oscar's too busy catching that wave. Poor Lando thought he'd rule the track, but Oscar's out there, no looking back. Fans love the kid with the cheeky grin. Lando's like, when's my parade gonna begin? Still their mates, they laugh, they jest. McLaren's got 2 and they're both the best. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're still chasing that crown. And Oscar, the rookie who's shaking it down. Two fast mates in a papaya dream. McLaren's laughing, what a chaotic team. Oh, Lando, Oscar's got your number made.
Gather round, mates, for a tale that's a laugh about a racer named Jack took an F1 path. Aussie lad with guts, but he spun that ride, crashed his dreams, now he's off to the side. Jack Gold Coast born with speed in his heart. Dad's a legend, gave him racing from the start. F4, F3, tearing up the scene. F2 king, living out his dream. Alpine shouted, Jack, you're our man. Gave him Ocon's seat, thought he'd lead the plan. But 25 roaring like a Roo gone wild. Jack's F1 hopes got wrecked in exile. Suzuka turn 1, pushing 8 and 5. Slammed that wall, car barely survived. Team radio buzz, Jack, you still there? He's stumbling out, dust in his hair. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Miami Grand Prix, thought he'd make a mark. Turn 1, lap 1, sent Liam Lawson to the dark. Penalty stacked, his license near shot. Speeding in the pits, fines hit the lot. Alpine's cash took a hit from his spree. Boss Ollie Oak said, Jack, you're killing me. Franco Colapinto with bucks and a smile. Snagged Jack's seat, sent him back in exile. Fans online are cackling, saying Jack's a bust. 6 races, no points, mate, you're eating dust. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Jack swore he'd push like a dingo on fire, but his car's in scraps and his dreams retired. Back to reserve, just a spare in the shed. F1 chewed him up, left his hopes for dead. Jack with a grin and a cheer. Your F1 run was a wild outback steer. Aussie battler, you gave it a crack, but them crashes prove Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. He roared onto the scene, a rookie with a dream. McLaren's golden boy, fastest we'd ever seen. His first season was fire, left the vets in the dust. Won that championship in 08, man, that kid was a must. From Mercedes to the top, he was king of the track. Silver arrows in his hands, ain't no looking back. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. At Mercedes he was gold, stacking titles like a boss. Rosberg gave him headaches, but he still came across. Then Bottas rolled in, just a sidekick in the race. Lewis
Lewis mowed him down with that champion's poker face. But then came 21, Abu Dhabi's cruel twist. Mossy's name's in his nightmares, man, he's still so pissed. Lost that 8th world title, it haunts him to this day. Now he's singing sad old blues while Max just drives away. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. He said, Ferrari's my mission, I'll bring them back to glory. But the Tifosi's waiting for a different kind of story. That red car's a clunker, it's sputtering and slow. Fans are whispering washed up, and it's starting to show. He strutted into Maranello, thought he'd rule the grid. But that Ferrari's like a mule, can't do what he did. The anticipation fizzle, now the critics all agree. Lewis, you're a legend, but your prime's history. Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. So here's to you, Sir Lewis, with your titles and your fame. You'll always be a hero, but this
like button.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to Monday night. It's time for League v League. Of course, we are in round 8, season 2 of League v League. Tonight is the 4Q M8 hosted round. That means that was the only league that knew where we were racing tonight. Everybody else playing a guessing game, not quite knowing where to practice. Some would have heard rumours and practiced in the wrong place altogether. Of course, format you will be used to. The 18-minute qualifying session for everybody to get around, set their best lap time. And then obviously that sets the field for the race. Of course, the notable difference in format is we don't have a Drivers' Championship. We only have a Team Championship. That's what the Team Championship looks like. SKR leads the way on 261 points for QM8. This is their round. If they've been practicing this circuit for the last couple of days, hopefully it will show and they'll get the result to bring that championship even closer. What a resurgence. This team was in P4 a few rounds ago. LSA 144, they're in P3. And Fusion Racing approaching that 100-point mark. After tonight, everyone should be in the triple digits. This is one of the LSA drivers, Spinnacorp. Familiar livery, same livery they used in Season 1. Of course, Season 1 champions have not had that same level of dominance we saw in Season 1. Season 1 was all about LSA. And SKR coming strong towards the end, getting that triple podium in the final round. And well, who knew it would lead to a Season 2 where SKR leads the championship by quite a handful. Of course, that's what happened at the end of 1997. McLaren getting a victory in the final round of 1997 after the sport had been dominated for quite some time by Williams and Ferrari. They got that victory at the end of 1997 and then went on to dominate 98 and 99. SKR dominant in that final round, and it extended into Season 2. Hopefully for them they're able to hold on to that. It looks like a massive lead in the championship. But remember, every league has 4 cars. 4 cars with the ability of scoring points. If you have a bad night out, 2 or 3 of your drivers retire, one of the other leagues gets a triple podium. It's going to be a big swing in the championship. And if that team is 4QM8, well then it's all to play for, with 2 rounds to go. Hopefully the stream is not buffering. If it is buffering, I suggest you just rewind it 30 seconds or a minute or so. I think it's my internet that's going up and down, so I do apologize. Can just rewind the stream a little bit. It should help with the buffering. First couple of laps have started coming in. First lap was Big But. Say 1 minute 31, the only 1 minute 31 in the field so far. And will you look at that? It's a 4QM8 car. They knew where they were racing. They've had the ability to practice. And so far it shows. Taserface, the man in P2. I believe that was the famous villain from Thor Ragnarok. This is Trompy. Another 4QM8 driver. Speaking of 4QM8, there's Matrix. All of those 4QM8 drivers getting their first run done early on. Dixie Killer complaining about the Wi-Fi. Well, not much I can do about it tonight. But I assure you, it's supposed to be a decent connection. And most of the time it is. This is Boatsy, one of the LSA drivers. Blade goes quickest, 31.7. Second driver into the 31s and just a 10th quicker than Big Bud. There is Blade, one of the Fusion drivers. Of course, Fusion, 96 points, trying to get over that 100 mark. Trying to have a strong second half to the season. These final 3 rounds, still lots and lots of points on offer. if you're able to maximize these last 3 rounds and have a little bit of misfortune happen all around you. This is the lead 4QM8 driver, Big Bit. There's another familiar name in the field, Shane, driving for Fusion. He's driven for a couple of teams, this guy. Drove for JPR in the League v League in Season 1. Of course, JPR not here in Season 2. Shane representing Fusion Racing. Hasn't had the best of luck this season. We know he's a quick driver. Just hasn't been able to put the results up against a full race distance. There's a 4QM8 car going off circuit. Just going through the field looking for an SKR driver, and we finally found one. It's Sugar Bear. Current best lap time of 1:36.0. Let's just bring up some data for the viewers at home. Get a better idea of what the drivers are doing in the session. It's very limited. Wish we had more data to give you all. Some more data for me. But at least with the tires you get to see who's driving around on used tires, who's messing about on hards, and as usual, seems to be quite the trend for that driver. Venom likes to go out on the hard compound for the first couple of laps, so you can't take those times seriously at all. It's going to come in, put on a set of softs, and things are going to look quite different. Another driver looking for his first lap time is Skull. And there is his first lap time, a 1:32.9, and immediately backs off. Be interesting to see if he plays his usual game. Usually does a few laps on that first set of softs. Different game in the League v League. You're not racing for yourself, you're racing for the team. It's just different. This is Spinnacorp, P11. LSA, P11, LSA, P13. Looking to get higher up the field. Sugar Bear, SKR returns to the pits. It's down in P14. This is Venom, but remember he's on a set of hards. This is Boaty looking for his first lap time. The only driver out on track not to have set a lap just yet. Of course, this is a track you can get quite a few invalidated laps on. It all comes down to getting those S's right. Get them wrong, it's an invalidated lap right at the start of the lap. And if you've gone on absolute fumes of fuel, then that's the lap done. Return to the pits and try again. This is Boaty looking for that first lap time. Does he get it this time? Apparently not. This is Blade, quickest man out on circuit so far. Provisional pole 31.7. It's not a comfortable pole by any stretch. Big Bud just 1/10 of a second adrift. 31.8. Those are the only two drivers in the 31s, and as I say that, Wheeze lifts his hand, says here I am, 31.8, and somehow he's sandwiched those incredibly close lap times. 1/10 of a second now covers the top three. We have 3 leagues in the top 3, do we? That's right, 3 leagues in the top 3. This is Matrix returning to the pits. Of course, the Kota circuit, famously designed with other circuits in mind, taking some famous parts of other circuits. Of course, the S's reminiscent of Maggots and Beckett's. They don't feel like Maggots and Beckett's, do they? And of course, the part of the track that they copied, that's my favorite. It's my favorite because it's so random. It's the final corner of the racetrack. They copied that from a certain South African race circuit. The final corner and the pit entry are exact copies of Kyalami's final corner and pit entry, which ironically is one of the things the FIA want changed. The entry into the final corner needs to be slowed down, and the pit entry needs to be extended and widened. This is Boatsy 34-0. He has eventually gone over and set a lap, but as you can see by the little map there on the right hand side, it's all red, so either this is a slow down lap or he's invalidated again. A lot of cars now in the pits. Not a lot of time left. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining. Those drivers in the pits, they'll be preparing for their final run. Having a look at the track map. You don't want to come out into traffic. Put any more unnecessary pressure upon you. You want a clear racetrack. Taserface 32.1. Running out of sync with the rest of the drivers. He's out on circuit while most of the field is in the pits. This is Glitch. Venom, currently in last place, sitting down in P16. But again, that first run, it was on hards, and I don't think he set a lap on that set of softs. I think that was either an abandoned run, or he just went out and did 1 lap on softs. But Venom, he's left things late. He usually leaves things late. I wonder if he meant to leave things this late. 34.2 would put him at the rear of the field. He does have time to come out for 1 more run. He's just got to hope he's not going to run into traffic. It's a busy race circuit. Blade is on an outlap, Wheeze is on an outlap, Shane is on an outlap. This is Big Bert. He's just emerged from the pits himself. Everyone in the top 4 looking for an improvement. Wheeze has just started his quick lap. He's going to be the first of that top 4 to go over the line, to set his final attempt. Will you look at that? He's lit up Sector 1 in purple. Hopefully he's not listening to the stream and I'm not stressing him out. But he has lit up Sector 1 in purple. Keep your eyes on this lap. One of 3 drivers in the 31 so far. We've got 2 31.7s and 1 31.8. No one else has been able to dip into the 31s just yet. He's able to take us deeper into the 31s, and if so, how much deeper into the 31s? Been riding with the SKR driver. Blade has also started his fast lap. And I think Weezer's backed out of that. Weezer's backed out of that. This is Blade. Big Boot on an outlap. He's got 40 seconds. Got to get on with it. There is that final corner I'm talking about. Copied from Kyalami. FIA absolutely love it. But when it comes to Kyalami, we need to change our pit entry and final corner. How does that work? FIA at its best. Big Boot 31. Is that, am I reading that correctly? Yes, I am. It's a 31.4 for Big Boot, so he went faster. Blade 31.7. Weezer's taken the checkered flag. He's not going to be able to improve. He's going to start from the second row. This man can still improve. He's lit up Sector 2 in purple. He's the quickest man out on circuit in Sector 2. Doesn't matter if you're quickest in Sector 2. All that matters is what you do with the rest of the lap. We wait now for Shane to come over the line, and can he get himself up onto the front row? Can he get himself into the 31s? That'll be the first question. Goes around the final corner, wants to get on the throttle, and will you look at that? 31.4, 1/100th of a second. Cover the top two. That is leaving it as late as can be, but don't get too excited, Shane. There's one more man that can take that away from you. He does take it away. He got squirmish on the exit. Got squirmish on the exit. Thought he may lose a couple of tenths there, but the lap was so good. He was able to put it all together. 31.0, almost dropping into the 1 minute 30s. Who could have thought 1 minute 30 at the beginning of the session? We got close. But for QM8, they will lead their host race into turn 1. There are your results. Big Boot P1, as we said. Shane, he's going to join him on the front row, almost at pole. Then Blade P3, Wheeze P4, we got Spikes in P5, Skull for SKR in P6, then we got Matrix, Taserface, Spinnercorp, and Boatsy. They make up your top 10. Then in P11 we got Trompy, Drunk Teddy Bear in P12, Gunner 13, Glitch 14, Sugar Bear 15. And Venom will go from the rear of the field, and he did set that time on a set of hards. Wonder if he just wasn't able to get a run done on the softs, a clean lap, a valid lap. Sometimes leaving things too late can go very, very wrong. As I understand things, in League v League, we do have the 5 minute break, but we did start late, so stay near your screens. The break may be shortened, I'm not sure. I haven't been on Discord, I haven't looked. I probably should have, but I'm not that good of a commentator. So we will wait. I believe there will be a 5 minute break before the race. A reminder of the calendar. Of course, tonight, round 8, 19th of May, that is the 4QM8 round. That is where we are right now. We're in Texas, we're in Kota. Next week, round 9, that's a mystery race. That is not a league hosted race. That is a mystery race. That means all 4 leagues. No one knows where the race is going to be. That's going to be spun off a wheel. Drivers will find out 5 minutes prior to the race where they'll be. And then, of course, we finish things off in Abu Dhabi. So, still 3 opportunities to score big, big points. Remember, every league has 4 drivers. And if you have the perfect evening, 1, 2, 3, 4, and your nearest rivals have a couple of retirements, this championship can swing very, very quickly. SKR does look comfortable for the time being. But remember, it is a 4QM8 hosted round, means that's the only league that would have known where we're racing, and the only league that would have been practicing around here. I think there was a lot of rumors about Baku, so I'm not sure how many of you were practicing Baku. I think I also read some rumors about Portugal. Well, both of those were incredibly wrong. We're nowhere near Baku. We're nowhere near Portugal. We're not even anywhere near Europe. Of course, the Circuit of the Americas, the first track in the United States of America that really captured F1. F1 trying since the 70s really to find a market in the United States. Just never really worked. Lots of one-off races, like the Las Vegas Grand Prix around the parking lot of Caesar's Palace, the Phoenix Grand Prix. Many, many Grand Prix that they attempted just did not work. America had their own forms of motorsport and they weren't that interested in F1. Then came Indianapolis, and it looked like that would be the new home of F1 in the USA. But then came 2000 and was it 2006, 2004? May have been 2004. I think it was 2004. I'm not sure. Of course, we had the issue with the Michelin tires back then in F1. We had two manufacturers of tire, and it just turns out that the Michelin brand, well, they didn't get that Indianapolis circuit quite right, and the cars were getting punctures. So all of the Michelin drivers had to forfeit the race, went around on the formation lap, and then most of the field simply drove into the pits, leaving 6 cars to start the race, leaving the American crowd stunned. Needless to say, the next Grand Prix at Indianapolis did not sell out, and F1 was lost to the USA once again. But then came COTA, purpose-built circuit for F1, built with overtaking in mind, and it has become the permanent home of Formula One in the States. Of course, they've added a few since then. They've added Miami, they've added Las Vegas, and if they have their way, they're going to be adding New York and possibly Chicago. Not the only part of the world looking for Grand Prix. Of course, Saudi Arabia looking to get a second Grand Prix. Dubai also looking to get a Grand Prix. Way too many on the waiting list. So much support in the comment section. If there is support for anybody else, I do apologize. It's been drowned out in the comment section. The only support I see on this channel is for SKR or nothing. W for skull there in the comment section. Let's go. Good luck, says Death Queen. Everybody ready for the race. Of course, we had a bit of a delay at the start. Everyone was wanting to get things going. Visor saying, and Cape Town. Well, Cape Town did get their bid in before Kyalami. In fact, Kyalami have not finalized their bid. That Cape Town bid is in, but I would say even more unlikely than Kyalami would be Cape Town. If you've driven on those particular streets, which I have, That would take an insane amount of resurfacing. Wouldn't just be able to race on that tarmac. Would have to bring things up to FIA Grade 1 status. And then, of course, it would be based on the shorter Formula E version of the circuit that was used a few years ago for the one and only KP Prix. Of course, came here once and then immediately fell off the calendar. World Championships tending to skip over a certain continent. All except for Rally. Of course, the FIA WRC, the World Rally Championship, they do have an African round. That's in Kenya. And then, of course, I just forgot what it's called. Oh, well. Well, the championship that we see start right in the beginning of January with the famous Dakar. That is a multi-race championship. People think the Dakar is a once-off. There's actually 6 races on that calendar. And for the first time, South Africa is one of them. I believe that race is coming up in June or July. And still we wait for the beginning of this race. More and more SKRs popping up in the chat. Chat very active today. Good to see. Lots of support for League v League as always. Of course, if you look at the comment section, it's very clear that this is a SKR channel. Of course, we broadcast SKR on a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. We also do SAFRL on a Tuesday night. And of course, those leagues are sister leagues. They are linked. So the SKR team you are looking at may have SAFRL representation within it. A lot of those drivers do overlap between the two championships. Reminder of the order while we're on the formation lap. Big Butt is going to go from P1. That's the 4QM8 man. And you got Shane. Looked like he had taken an amazing pole at the last minute. But last minute wasn't enough. Big Butt took it away in the last few seconds. Then we've got Blade in P3. Another Fusion driver. Wheeze P4. Top of the SKRs. It's followed by Spikes. Another SKR driver. That Halo says game over. Hopefully it's not game over for him early on in the race. But that's a bad choice of words. Then you've got Skull, another SKR driver. 3 of them driving line astern. Wheeze, Spike, Skull, 4, 5, 6, all SKR. That's the point of this league, is you want to get as many of those cars into the points as possible. You've got 4 of them, you want to finish with 4 of them. Matrix for 4QM8 and Taserface for Fusion. Then we've got a couple of LSA cars. Spinnacle P9, Boatsy P10. 4QM8, Trompy P11. Drunk Teddy. Well, he almost drove into the back of his teammate. Don't drive like you're drunk. 2 4QM8 cars at the rear of the field. Then you've got another pair of LSA cars, Gunner and Glitch. Sugar Bear P15 and Venom. Well, he's decided to give himself a bit of a challenge. That's what happens when you do qualifying on a set of hards. Don't get the best view for the start of the race because we're not going to be able to see the green lights. Hopefully we'll be able to hear them. Big Butt is going to go from P1. Shane going from P2. Qualifying is all fun, but it's all about turn 1. I didn't mean to rhyme. Venom drive-through penalty for a jump start. That's the driver at the rear of the field. He's gone up into P11. It was quite the jump start, wasn't it? 4QM8 hold on into the lead. First into turn 1. First out of turn 1. First goal achieved. Then we've got Blade in P2. We've lost Shane. Shane was in P2. He's lost a couple of positions. Wheeze has been able to maintain P3. There is Shane in P4. Just a couple of positions down at the start of the race. Fortunately, no damage to that front wing, which means he can just get his head down and get on with it. This is Spikes in P5. It's the most tense part of the race. Everybody's so close together. Everybody looking for any gap they can find. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to be defensive. You've got to be aware. Visor, Dixie Killer, and I'm not sure who else is here because they've spammed the chat. I believe Death Queen is also here. Ubuntu, saw him much earlier on. Skull, he's here, but he's also in a car. Big Butt, 1 minute 36.9. That's the first lap. Lap time is going to come down far beyond that. Of course, these cars very, very heavy. As the race goes on, car gets lighter and lighter. They'll get faster and faster. It's a little bit more information for all of you there at home. The tyre screen gives you a little bit of an idea of who's doing what in this first stint of the race. Looks like the top 4 drivers, they're on the hard compound. That's Big Butt, Wheeze, Blade and Shane. Then we've got Spikes, Taserface and Skull all going on the medium. Boatsy on the hard, Matrix on the hard, Spinnacorp on the medium. Quite an even split between the mediums and the hards. Nobody seeing the need to go out on the soft. Skull in P7. Frantic start to the race. Shane started in P2, went down to P4. He remains in P4 for the time being. Wheeze has been able to make up a position. He's now up to P2. 0.6 of a second is the gap between him and Big Butt, and he'll know it's all important to stay within DRS. Keep the pressure on the driver ahead. The moment you fall out of DRS, you're forced to change your focus to your mirrors. Visor saying you can go from hards to softs on this circuit. It'll be interesting to see just how far these drivers can go on the hards. Of course, a lot of times these strategies, they get manipulated by a safety car. If a safety car comes out really at any point before that first pit window, most drivers are going to come into the pits and completely scrap whatever they had in mind for a strategy. So lots of times we don't even see that hard tyre getting used to its absolute full extent because we get a safety car and the hard runners come in probably a little earlier than they'd like. Wheeze into the lead, very nicely done, gets around Big Butt into the lead of the race for the first time in this race. Remember, he started from P3, so he's made up 2 positions in the first 3 laps of the race, and for the first time leads the way. Big Butt now starting to come under pressure for P2. He's just got that P2, just got demoted to P2, and now somebody's looking to take P2 away from him. Probably be wishing to look in his mirrors and see a teammate, but that's not a teammate. They've both got gold on the car, so he might be confused, but that is a Fusion car behind him. Blade looks to the inside. thinks better of it. Just saw the front of the car peeking towards the inside, having a think about it, knowing it's not the time. Remember, you're not racing for yourself, you're not racing as an individual, you're racing as a 4-driver team. And if you do anything silly in the race, well, you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting down that 4-car team. You need all 4 cars in the points. But for the time being, Wheeze is doing exactly what SKR require. They lead the championship, they lead on track. And for QM8, if they're going to close this championship, if they're going to extend this championship run, Big Butt is going to need to show some of that speed. Some of that speed he showed in quali. Remember, he had a 4/10 advantage in that qualifying session, took pole by quite a margin. But at the same time, remember, we haven't seen the full capabilities of Wheeze. That final run, he had to back off. He didn't get it right. He didn't have a final run. Maybe he had those 4/10 in him too. Maybe he had a little more. Of course, we've mentioned many times on the channel that on this game DRS can be a little overpowered. So what happens is, if you don't have a very strong and distinct advantage over that driver behind you, it becomes very, very difficult to get away from him if you're both setting consistent laps, not making mistakes. You just tow that driver around lap after lap, draining your battery, trying to stay in front. Makes things interesting. Of course, Wheeze, newly crowned Season 11 SKR champion, won that last night, Sunday night. And now he's flying the SKR flag for the black and green car. Prefer the black with the hint of green. I don't get confused with the Salber anymore. Big Butt leads from Wheeze. You can see the time, just 4/10 of a second. So nobody really in control of this race right now. Drivers able to stay together, at least these top 4, able to match each other's pace. And they'll know that for the time being, there's no need to do anything silly. Ooh, and the 2 Fusion cars go side by side, and that's not the way you want to go side by side, not the way you want to trade positions. Blade ran a little too wide, had to go off circuit. Fortunately for him, he didn't lose too much momentum. Still within the DRS of his teammate. That's the one advantage Fusion have here in the top 4. Top 4 have run away from the rest of the field, but Fusion have 2 drivers in that top 4. If those 2 drivers are able to drive in sync, they could play the team game and really give a handful to the 2 drivers ahead. Big Butt out on his own for QM8, Wheeze out on his own for SKR. Then the 2 Fusion drivers, 3 and 4. Then surprisingly, 3.6 second gap down to Spikes in P5. The reason I say surprisingly is that top 4 have run away, and those are the 4 drivers on the hard compound. At this stage, the hard should be the slower tyre. This is Taserface, one of the Fusion drivers, followed by an LSA driver, Spinnacorp. Apologies for the stream quality, but tonight it is my internet. I can see it on the I can actually see it on the OBS, and it's just jumping up and down. It's literally jumping between 100 megs and 10 megs. And that's when you're seeing the jumping. Just did it again. This Big Boot still leads the way. Wheeze in P2, Shane in P3, then Blade P4. These four drivers have got in away somewhat from the rest of the field, but now Big Boot and Wheeze, well, they've just broken DRS to those two Fusion cars I was talking about earlier. Boatsy becomes the first victim of the penalties column. Of course, we saw a race last night for SKR that was showered in penalties. But that was San Marino. That was Imola. Very different circuit. Much more narrow circuit. The circuit built with modern F1 cars in mind, built with overtaking in mind. But unfortunately for Boaty, he's already picked up a penalty relatively early on in the race. Skull down in P15. Has he made an early pit stop? Seems like he has made an early pit stop. Definitely didn't start on the soft tire. We saw there were no soft runners in the field. I think he started on a set of mediums, if I'm not mistaken. Must have had damage at some point, because he's come in probably a little earlier than he intended to get rid of that set of mediums. See how things play out for him later on in the race. Of course, a safety car would change things very, very much. Big Boot leads the way from Wheeze. These two in a race of their own. Top four were very much in a race of their own, but now you can see things are starting to split. Big Boot and Wheeze, they're out front. Magnetic, can't separate them. Then Blade 1.5 seconds back, and somehow he's dropped off his teammate. And there's the reason why. Shane is not in the cockpit of that car, and that means the Fusion driver will drop to the rear of the field. Hopefully he can get back in that car. Of course, every team does have an engineer available to them. That's why we only have 16 drivers in the lobby. The other 4 places taken up by race engineers. Each league has a race engineer to help them, obviously, with getting some extra data, getting some extra information. Who's pitting, who's on what tire, who's doing what. And of course, if one of them disconnects, well, then they should be able to get a swift invite from their engineer. Those engineers basically looking at what we're looking at. They'll be focusing on things from a team perspective. We try and be unbiased here on NFR. We try and give a good broadcast to all the teams. Of course, we give just a little bit more time to the black and green. And that comes down to the support that the black and green get in the comment section. It's overwhelming. We didn't even do a poll tonight because in the last few weeks the poll has been pretty pointless. SKR in the 90s. In the championship, SKR well into the 200s. Big Put knows in order to keep 4QM8 in this championship for a little bit longer, needs to stay in front, and as Visor would say, well, well, well. Lap 10 of 28. Not sure where I read it, but I'm pretty sure somebody said in the comment section, safety car lap 9. If that was you, let me know. I'm pretty sure I read it in the comment section. Somebody said safety car lap 9. Awfully close. It is in fact safety car lap 10. We're 1/3 into this race. We get a full safety car. And well, this just wipes the canvas clean. Of course, gaps were starting to form. There's the well, well, well. Big Bert comes into the pits. Now this is what I said at the start of the race. Some drivers, they'll start on the medium, they're intending to come in a little earlier. Some drivers, they'll start on the hard. Of course they intend to go deeper into the race. That safety car, while the drivers with hards, they're coming in, they're getting rid of those hards, they're going on to a set of mediums. Can they get to the end of the race on that set of mediums? Is that a bit of a stretch? Let me know in the comment section. You guys know better than I do. I race once a week. Don't practice at all. Show up 5 minutes before the race. And if I'm still there by lap 5, I feel like Max Verstappen. Of course, we are under safety car conditions. We had an electrifying, very quick start to the race. And now things just get slowed down. Safety car comes out, puts a dampener on things. So you're riding on board with the leader, Big Bert. Of course, he took pole position in the closing stages of qualifying, the very, very late closing stages of qualifying. He has led this race, not the entire time. He's had his hands full with Wheeze. Wheeze has been able to match his pace each and every single lap. Both of those drivers have led the race at some point, simply trading places. In the beginning of the race, it was very much a race of the top 4. Then we saw those fusion cars starting to fall back. Safety car has come out and ensured everybody gets back together. The cause of that safety car was Venom. Qualifying session did not go according to plan for him. Just did his first run on a set of hards, and that happened to be the only time that registered for him. Shane has picked up a penalty, is that correct? Down the order, where am I looking? Thought I read Shane. It wasn't Shane. Somebody's picked up a penalty, and I'm pretty sure it was speeding in the pit lane. Let's bring up the penalty screen. It was Shane. Shane, 10-second penalty. When it rains, it pours. And as I said earlier, he just hasn't had the luck. He's had the speed, just hasn't had the luck in the League v League. But just as this safety car came out of nowhere, it could have yet another. Visor saying Shane is ghosting. Saw him ghosting earlier on, but I don't think he's ghosting anymore. I think he's back in control of that car. Don't think I've ever seen the AI get a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That would be pretty harsh. regain control of your car only to find out the AI went on a joyride picking up penalties for the past 2 or 3 laps. At that point, retake control of the car, drive into the pits and probably call it a day. It's going to be Big Butt from Wheeze, from Blade, from Sugar Bear, from Spikes. As for Shane, well, his race has just been turned upside down. As with one safety car, we could very well get another or multiple others. And that'll just flip this order all over again. Sometimes it's all about luck, where you are on the race circuit when that safety car comes out. We saw on Sunday so many cars benefiting from the safety car. Lando Norris pitting 1 lap before the safety car really hurt his race. Sometimes it really does just come down to luck. You might be the quickest man on race circuit and still lose the race. Big Butt leads the way, Wheeze in P2, then Blade in P3, but Blade, he's got a penalty next to his name. It's the last thing you want when you're fighting for a podium position is look to the side of your timing sheet and see you've just added 3 seconds to it. And as I speak of 3 seconds, Big Butt, that's a crucial one. He's been able to stay with Wheeze, they've been able to match each other, but crucially what that penalty means, matching each other, is no longer an option. You need to get in front, you need to open up a gap if you intend to win this race. Of course, Wheeze could be on a number of warnings, he could be just 1 step away from a penalty himself. We don't know, we don't have access to that information. Wheeze just needs to stay out of that penalties column. And with the pace he has out on track, victory could very well be guaranteed at these very early stages. Just needs to keep doing what he does so well and stay out of the penalties column. Visor asking what happened to Skull. Well, Skull started on a set of medium tyres. He came in round about lap 7 for a set of hard tyres. We didn't see what happened to him on the race circuit, but that was a very early pit stop, so only presumption could be damage on lap 6. Came in lap 7. Obviously picked up a set of hard tyres that sent him to the rear of the field. Then I think he must have made another pit stop right at the end of the safety car. And that safety car hasn't waited for him. He's 30 seconds adrift from the rear of the field. Let's make sure that car's not ghosting. Doesn't appear to be ghosting. Doesn't appear to have damage. Let's have a look. No damage. But Skull at the rear of the field. Looking to make up ground. Hoping for another safety car. For now it's Wheeze from Big Butt. 6/10 of a second is the gap. For a second there I thought we just lost game sound. Wouldn't that be fantastic? The stream's already buffering and now the game sound wants to go away, but there's the game sound, it's working. Wheeze. Oh, I didn't see that. How did I not see that? I said he might be on a couple of warnings, just a step away from a penalty. He has picked up a penalty. The race is back on. Said that 3-second penalty might be a race decider. Well, he's just neutralized it. And Big Butt, the man in P2, also happens to be the quickest man out on track. This is the view from the rear wing of the leader. It's looking back at the driver that he's been chasing or has been chasing him for the entirety of the race. They've simply been trading places for first place. At one stage it looked like a penalty was going to be the deciding factor between the two. But then Waze went and picked up a penalty of his own, neutralized the situation. DRS will be open, but he's not using his battery. Interesting. Big Butt choosing to stay in P2 for now, almost it seems. Looked like he was making up a lot of ground on the leader. Used DRS but didn't touch his battery. That suggests he wasn't absolutely desperate to get the move done just yet. There we go, Cooper. Cooper in the chat giving some support to Fusion. Of course, SKR was dominating the chat. Cooper making an appearance in the chat just to try and level things out. Do not swamp out Cooper. This is not good. Cooper is a visitor. Cooper is a visitor to the NFR channel. Stop with the L's. This is not good. L Cooper, not good. Stop, stop. There we go. Fusion, here we go. Of course, Fusion, they've got a driver up in P3 as things stand. It's Shane. He's had a real up and down race, but the race has come back to him. And that's why I say sometimes you fall right to the back of the field. Just got to keep your head in it, got to keep the consistent laps, keep on pushing like you're in the race. Safety car comes out, it could change everything. And where Shane's race looked like it had gone from over, well, it's back. It's back to podium contention. Look at these two going side by side. Wheeze, Big Butt, Shane, Spikes. That is your top four. Got Taserface in P5. Another Fusion driver. Good race so far for Fusion. They've got a whole handful of cars up into the points. Much needed points. Just 96 points in the championship. Looking to join the other three leagues in the triple digits. Of course, the only league on 200 points, that's SKR. The other leagues looking to close that gap here tonight with only 3 opportunities left to score points in this League v League Season 2. Spinnacle picks up a 3-second penalty, and that was moments after somebody else picked up a penalty. So we didn't see who the first one was. Let's just bring up the penalty screen. Nothing's changed at the front. Drivers P1 and 2, 3 seconds apiece. Boatsy's gone up to 6 seconds. And then 3 seconds apiece for Trompy, Spinnacle and Glitch. Is that all the I believe that's all the LSA drivers with a penalty next to their name. LSA not enjoying the Kota layout. Boatsy, 3-second, multiple warnings. Another one, I think he was on 6, that'll take him up to 9. Just makes your race so much more difficult, especially in a race that's affected by safety cars. Safety cars close up those gaps between the drivers, and when you've got penalties next to your name, it's a real race breaker. As you go over that start finish line, you just see your name continuing to drop down the field. Not fun. I hope Visor has not chased Cooper away. Of course, Cooper, you're welcome on the channel anytime. Don't let Visor scare you. This is SKR It's Spikes in P3. SKR currently P2 and P3 for QM8. The league currently P2 in the championship. They're P1 on the race circuit. Matrix. For QM8 in P7. Of course, just like normal format on a Sunday, on a Tuesday, top 10 will collect points. The difference is you're collecting points as a collective of 4 drivers. At least that's what you're trying to do. It's for Big Butt. It's flying that 4QM8 flag. Flying it high. Not only is he out front, the man he's racing makes this performance even more impressive. We do have a caution. Taserface 3-second penalty. I think that's going to take him up to 6 as well. That caution has since disappeared. We always pause for a moment thinking that caution could trigger something a little more. Seems we have been able to get away with that. Lap 19 of 28. Back to the SKR driver at the rear of the field, Skull. Looked like he was going to have a much more promising race at the start of the race. Then things went south. He probably would have been hoping for another safety car by now. But he's got to keep pushing. Of course, if anything happens out front, penalties, safety car, any sort of misfortunes at all, and you miss out on capitalizing on those misfortunes because you haven't been pushing, you'll never forgive yourself. So whether you're in the front, whether you're at the back, all by yourself, you've got to keep on pushing because you never know when this race could flip. Still 4QM8 in the lead from SKR. Big Butt versus Wheeze. 3-second time penalty going the way of Boaty. That's what happens sometimes. You pick up one, you pick up another. You start driving with the warnings, with the penalties in the back of your head. They start bugging you. Your concentration starts to drift. And then the worst thing happens. You start driving with the warnings in mind. You start driving within yourself. You start maybe not taking the apex as you usually would. And that's where the mistakes creep in, because you're driving out of your own rhythm. Of course, Shane down in P3. He's got no penalties next to his name. What would be crucial for him, because he's almost 9 seconds back. Don't know if he's going to be able to catch the top 2. But if there is a late safety car and those top 2 have penalties, well, he is clear in the penalties column. There is still time to go in this race. Many drivers in the penalties column. Something we don't see quite as much of in the League v League. But tonight, it's quite interesting. You can make these circuits, you can make them as wide as you want. The drivers will always try and use every single inch of tarmac available to them, regardless of how wide the circuit is. You're always going to get invalidated laps. Of course, the F1 circus, they head to Monaco this coming weekend. Not too many invalidated laps you can do there, so you might just find a barrier in the process. Just a reminder to everyone watching, something you can do to help with the buffering. can simply rewind for 30 seconds or a minute or so. You should be able to watch this stream a lot more comfortably. This is Spikes going past one Fusion car, going past two Fusion cars. Fantastic driving by Spikes, but he's not able to get it stopped. He's not able to get it stopped. Overtakes one, overtakes two, past comes one, past comes two. Start all over. Ooh, and that's not nice. We saw carbon fiber flying. Let's have a look if we can have a look at that SKR car. Is there damage to the front wing? Yes, there is. The right hand side of that front wing is missing for Spikes. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And that's how quickly things can go south. 1 minute you're doing an overtake, fighting for P4, fighting for P3. Now you're circulating around in P5 with a broken wing. With just a few laps to go. And some hungry drivers behind you. Of course, too late in the race to come in for that wing damage because the gaps simply aren't big enough. He'd come back out into the field outside of the points. So the only thing he can do right now is hold that position, hope for a safety car. Then a lot of the field would come in, get a set of softs on the car. Maybe he could get in, change that wing. But he continues. He's doing something I definitely couldn't do. Drive around Kota with a broken wing. It's difficult enough to drive around here with all of your car. Those S's with that broken wing can't feel too fun. Now Shane getting all over the back of the second SKR driver in the field. It's just going to be a matter of time. Must be so difficult for Spikes to be able to maintain this sort of pace, to keep Shane behind when he's missing that wing. Not going to notice anything here on the straight. What you're going to notice is when he gets to the S's. Shane up the inside. I think that was DRS, ERS, everything he's got. He's just not able to get on the throttle as quickly as he likes. Spikes wanted to battle him into the S's. Car squirms. Has to accept P5 for now. Bad news for him. There's another car on its way, and it's within DRS. It's Gunner in P6. Back at the front of the field, Big Boot still leads the way. 0.6 of a second from this man here. It's Wheeze. These two have been the main contenders throughout the race. They were P1. Actually, they weren't. Shane was P2 in qualifying. That's the driver down in P3 at the moment. He's fallen adrift from the leaders. Best of the rest. But it's not a comfortable best of the rest. There's Taserface in P4. It is in fact a comfortable one. I'm thinking it's individual racing. It's not individual racing. These two are teammates. So I don't think Shane needs to worry about any dive bombs, any late moves from Taserface. He'll actually be happy to have that teammate in between him and the next car, just acting as a bit of a cushion. Doesn't have to worry about his mirrors too much. His teammate's not going to attack him. Those drivers will be in communication. If one is faster than the other, well, then they will trade places. They're not going to race each other. Taserface, he got awfully close to his teammate there for a moment. We switched cameras at the wrong moment. We didn't see how close. That almost looked like an incident incoming. It's the last thing you want to do. Go into your teammate When you're the team in P4 in the championship, you really need these points. Battle for P3 in the championship with LSA. Taserface switches positions with Shane. These two now just utilizing DRS to slingshot to, well, I don't know what I just said, to slingshot each other around the circuit. And just a mention of Spikes, maybe down in P5, but this is a very impressive drive. Spikes still in P5. He's maintained that P5, but even more impressive than that, he's actually been able to stay with those Fusion drivers. So Spikes, if he were to pick up a podium, what a shock that would be with that wing in that condition. Didn't come into the pits, chose to stay out there. I expected to see him fall down the order like a stone. But somehow he's been able to adjust his driving style to that broken car, and he's making it look effortless. Another 4QM8 driver in the points matrix, and a caution, and a safety car. A late safety car. How many times? How many times on NFR? As Visor would say, well, well, well. It's time again to switch things up. I had a safety car in the early phases of the race. That was around about lap 10. I've had a second safety car. And what a time to get a second safety car. Lap 25 of 28. That means it's going to be a short safety car. If you're at the back of the queue, get on with it. Safety car is not going to wait for you. It's going to have about 2 laps. If you're too far behind, it's simply going to leave you behind. Big Put, your leader, he comes into the pits. Wheeze comes into the pits. Where is Taserface? He's staying out on circuit. Taserface stays out on circuit. Shane stays out on circuit. Does he? No, Shane comes into the pits. Splits. The Fusion cars have split the strategy. One comes into the pits, so that he'll have a fresh set of tires. The other is going to try his luck out front. It's going to make things interesting. Just when you think the race is reaching its culmination, safety car comes out, stirs the pot one more time. And what I said earlier in the race, well, it's coming true. If you were able to stay out of that penalty column, this could very well be your race if you have a decent restart at the safety car. Visor saying 1 lap of racing. Pretty sure the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. It's not going to wait for the rest of the queue. That'll give us lap 27, lap 28. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think I've actually seen a 1 lap sprint on the game. Usually the safety car doesn't let that happen. There we go, safety car will be in this lap. That means we'll get lap 27 and lap 28. 2 laps of racing till the end. Taserface, Spikes, they've done something different. They've stayed out. They've held on to track position. Spikes knew if he came into the pits, changed his tires, changed his wing, well, he would just come out so much further back. He decided to stay out and hold on to track position. Taserface, well, I think this is a roll of the dice from Fusion. They know they're P4 in the championship. What a victory could do to swing that championship. Bring them closer to LSA in P3. They've rolled the dice, they've split the strategy. Shane and Taserface, they were running together on the same set of tyre. Now, things looking quite different. Here's the restart. Taserface, Spikes, Big Boot. I was gonna say Gunner, but Wheeze has already made up a position. Wheeze up into P4. No drama into turn 1. Taserface leads the way on a set of 16 lap old hards, but he's got some soft runners behind him. Very fresh soft runners behind him. May I add, some very quick soft runners behind him. He's got Big Boot and Wheeze behind him. But more crucially, and don't forget, there's only 2 laps of racing. So unless people make some pretty big errors in these final 2 laps and these gaps can stay relatively close, look at the gaps. Rather look at the drivers with no penalties next to their name, because those drivers are the drivers that are pretty crucial to the results. You could see them simply rocket up the field at the end of the race. Drivers in a fantastic position right now. Shane, who's had a real up and down race, is down in P5. He's out of that penalties column. If he's able to keep it that way, who knows what the game will come up with. Top 4 all have penalties, but crucially they all have 3-second penalties, so nothing too serious, and they all neutralize each other. All with the exception of Shane, who's now coming under serious threat. Lap 28 has started. It's the final lap of the race. Shane was in prime position to even take victory in this race because of the penalties ahead, and he knows that he's got to get ahead of Matrix. This looks like a battle for P5. It's a battle for the lead, effectively. They don't want to battle too much, fall too far behind the 3 seconds that they can't utilize it. But for the time being, looks like Shane's being overly aggressive for a P5. He's not being overly aggressive for a P5. This is for a victory. And not anymore, it's not. Shane. Oh, he'll be swearing. He'll be cursing and cursing. And after all that, what was that? I'll look down from the screen for a moment. Exactly. I agree. That's been the quality of the stream this evening. Quality of the racing has been good. We had a delayed start. Got a safety car on lap 10. We got a safety car at the end. We got a whole handful of penalties, and now we're about to get our result. Around the final corner, Big Boot will be the first man over the line. But will he be the man to win the race? Yes, he is. The gap's opened up enough. Big Boot takes the victory. Wheeze P2, Taserface in P3. Fantastic result in the League v League. When you see 3 leagues in the top 3, 4QM8, SKR, and then Fusion. Matrix picks up P4. That's the second 4QM8 driver. Of course, Big Boot the lead 4QM8 driver. And now we'll simply wait to see who is the driver of the day. And we'll wait for that final results screen. Let me know in the comment section when it lags. Is my voice breaking up, or is it just the visuals? Are we getting a driver of the day, or did I miss the driver of the day? There we go, driver of the day. Gotta love the name. Drunk Teddy Bear. Is that in reference to Ted? He's more of a high teddy bear. So there are your results for the League v League Round 8, hosted by 4QM8. Big Butt takes the victory for 4QM8. He started P1, he finished P1 regardless of his penalties. Wheeze P2 started P4 on the grid. He'll be happy with the result. Taserface P3. Then we've got Matrix, good night for 4QM8, Teddy Bear P5, Sugar Bear P6, Blade P7, Spikes P8. Shane, what an up and down race. One stage looked like he could take it. At one stage looked like race was destroyed. Then at one stage looked like he could win. All came apart with just 2 laps to go. Spinnacorp picks up the final point. No points on the night for Glitch, Gunner, Boatsy. I believe that's a triple LSA. No points. And then Skull right at the end there, P14. Happened to get the fastest lap. He's not going to get the point because he wasn't in the top 10. The 2 DNFs, those were Trumpy and Venom. There we go, folks. That was League v League Season 2, Round 8. Of course, when we got to the lobby a little earlier on, we didn't even know where we would be racing. Turns out the answer was Kota. And what a race it was. Every time you thought you had an idea of where things were going, we'd get an intervention that came in and shook things up. Visor saying voice is fine. Gonna have to go and have a look at these settings. There was a Windows update and my OBS, few things have changed. So let's I'll have to have a look at those settings and hopefully we can get everything sorted out before tomorrow night. I want to thank everybody who joined the stream. There were so many comments in the comment section. It was great to see all the support for SKR. It was great to see Clinton in the comment section giving some support to Fusion. They had a great race this evening as well. Of course, a little bit of misfortune for Fusion. Sometimes the safety cars work for you. Sometimes they can work very much against you. To everyone who joined us this evening, to everybody who left a like, to everybody who left a comment, and of course if you're new, I hope you subscribed. I want to thank you all. I'll leave you with a little bit of music and I'll be back tomorrow. NFR will be back tomorrow with SAFRL at 8 p.m. Till then, enjoy and cheers.
Max the Maverick.
He rolls to the grid, eye sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid. Max Verstappen, king of the fight. Burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. There is
rivals are ball and they tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art, tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar. Now it's Max who evens the score. The car's not prime, the rivals grin, but he still finds a way to win. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Monaco streets, Silverstone rain.